Okay, hello, everyone. This is going to be a Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just a quick recap and review, just kind of first thoughts on the season, episode one, season four, season 14, episode one, and just kind of my thoughts and opinion. I'm just going to go ahead and put on the countdown for a few minutes, and then we will get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this review and recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode one. And this is my personal thoughts and opinions on the show so far. So let's start off in rating. If I had to rate this episode, I would actually give it let's say between 1 to 10. I would give it an 8. This episode was really good. I'm loving just kind of like the bond between the ladies, like the connection that they have. I am just loving it. Okay, so we have just a few ladies who are, coming back and also returning. All of the ladies are, we've met them so far. The only person that we have not met and that is new, that is a newbie, is Sonia Richard Ross, who is an Olympian. We all know that she ran for Team USA and won multiple gold medals with Team USA. She's also a Jamaican. She's Jamaican, but she represents Team USA. So I'm loving the addition of Sonia Richard Ross on the show. So it was really exciting to see her. Okay, and then we also have Miss Kenya Moore. We all know she is coming back. Candy Burris is, she's back. And then Sheree is, she's coming back. We've known Sheree for a while. She was one of the OGs, and she's back. Um, Drew Sidora, she was a newbie last season. And then we also have Marlo, who I am so happy for this season. I'm so happy that she finally got her peach and she is representing it well. And I'm just so happy. I feel like it's been it's been like she really needed to get that peach because she was doing so much for the show, giving a lot of these ladies something to talk about, going back and forth with the ladies almost for a good decade. And they finally gave her peach, and I'm so happy for her. So congrats to Marlo. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the first scene. So the scene starts off with Kenya and her dance partner, right? So Kenya and her dance partner, they are practicing for Dancing with the Stars. We know Kenya was on Dancing with the Stars this past season, and I actually have to say she did really well on the show. She really did really well. She showcased her dancing skills and stuff. So I was like, okay, Kenya, watching it, I was really happy about that. And she was able to record that on the show. So she mentions how she is actually crushing on her dance partner. And I'm just like, I know that I was like, I realized one thing about Kenya Moore. She crushes very easily. I realized that she crushes very easily. Like, she falls in love very easily. I'm just like, Kenya, I didn't really see the chemistry there, but she says that she is crushing on her dance partner, Brandon. If you guys know Brandon, he was her dance partner on Dancing with the Stars. So I don't know. That's one thing I was like noting, that Kenya Moore is always crushing. Okay, then we also have Marlo and Candy. They all meet up with Kenya at the dance studio, and they're all just catching up, chit chatting and stuff, getting just kind of like pretty much catching up like good old friends, right? And they're all getting along. I love this scene. It just felt like old friends just meeting, and it just felt so authentic. And I haven't seen this kind of authenticity in a while on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It looks like they were just all genuinely just really happy. And then Sheree also meets up with them, and everyone's just like lighting up, like Sheree, Sheree. And I think all of the ladies were so happy just to see Sheree. And I think that's what I loved so much about this opening episode. Like it just felt so good just to kind of have the OGs back and a mixture of newbies. It just felt so authentic. What did you guys think about just this episode? Like, I loved it. I really, really loved it. I thought it was great so far. So far, so good. Okay, so moving on to the next scene. Of course, we get introduced to Sonia Richard Ross. I've already did her introduction, and she's Olympian. And she's meeting up with Drew Sidora, and they're working out at the gym. Drew tells us about her new weight loss program. So Drew has gone into this fitness journey where she says she lost about 25 pounds in 3 weeks. I was like, wow. So she says she's just been so, really fixated on just like her health and stuff. So she's meeting up with Sonia, and Sonia and her husband are kicking Drew and Ralph's butt at the gym. I was like, now, Drew, it was really, really hard for Drew to keep up with Sonia and Ross, which is Sonia's husband. So it was difficult for her to keep up. So Drew also made a revelation that her and Ralph are actually having a little bit of marital issues, concerning Ralph's assistant. Ralph is writing a book, and the book is about pretty much a how-to book about becoming a stepfather. So he really had to get an assistant to kind of help him with that project. And Drew was not feeling the relationship with Ralph and his assistant. So they're just kind of having a disagreement on that. So she reveals that to Sonia, and they're talking about it. Sonia gives her some advice on, what her thoughts are and stuff. So it looks like that whole issue with the assistant is going to be Drew's storyline for this season, about her marital status with Ralph, what's going on in their relationship and stuff. So it looks like we kind of have a good idea of what Drew's storyline is going to be, and I feel like that is going to also build up as well. Now moving on to Marlo. Okay, so Marlo has a really interesting, I think Marlo really has a good story to tell. Marlo is a Monty, and a Monty is a mom and an auntie. So she is raising two of her nephew because her sister is actually incarcerated. So she said it's a new experience for her. She just kind of had to grow into this role. She was, she just all her life she has been thinking about herself. It's always about Marlo, 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 Marlo. It always has been about Marlo. Now she has grown into this role for almost 2 years, and she has to raise two young Black men in Atlanta. So she said it's been pretty difficult, but she's trying to manage it well, because she said if she did not have to take in that role, like someone else would have raised her nephews, and that's not what she wanted. So she has to get up, get them ready for school, make sure they brush their teeth, just pretty much doing what a mom would do. And she kind of changed their lifestyle. Before, she said that before they were used to eating like McDonald's and frozen food. Now they're really eating like very like she's very health conscious with her nephews, making sure they eat their fruits, their vegetable, making sure they are taking their vitamins. So I like Marlo's storyline this season. I think she has a very realistic storyline. I feel like anybody who has had to raise kids who are not theirs, or who is a Monty, or who is a father who a single father, a single mother, So I feel like Marlo has a really very good realistic storyline, and I'm loving it. I can't wait for her to build and grow as a character on this season and on this show. Okay, so then we move on to, and guys, I'm kind of not going in order, but I'm just going into like each individual storyline. So I'm trying to make sure I'm building a character, what we're going to be seeing for this season. So it may not seem like it's in order, but I'm just kind of just doing a quick recap on each individual lady and their storyline. Okay, so then we move on to Sheree. Okay, so we know Sheree is being, I think let's just go, she's doing it's a comeback for Sheree. She said, don't call it a comeback, call it a takeover. So let's just go ahead and call it a takeover, right? So Sheree is like re-immersing back into the friend group. And Sheree's storyline is also interesting as well. We know she was dating a convict who was in prison. I think it's Tyrone, and now he's officially been released and he's paroled, right? So she talks about her love life with, dating a convict. And she's sharing it with the other ladies like Kenya. She's also sharing it with Marlo and Candy and stuff. And they're giving her advice on, how to go about it. And she's talking about the issues within the relationship. And they're telling her, like, is she concerned about him, how he is being reintroduced back into civilization, and does she have any concerns about him cheating and all those kind of things. So they're just giving her advice and just kind of feedbacks and stuff. And the ladies go on to talk about, their dating life and stuff. And Kenya goes on to share that she is ready to get divorced from Mark. Like, she is tired. He's not signing the divorce paper, and she doesn't know why he's not signing the divorce paper, but she's ready to just move on. So that is Kenya's kind of storyline as well too, like her being kind of separated from her ex-husband and working on getting divorced. And then we also have this kind of interesting dynamic with Kenya and Sheree, right? So we know back in the day, these two ladies, they just did not like each other. They were not friends. Not that they were like evil towards each other. They just always had that just fun shade with each other and stuff. So we also had that as well. That storyline where they're just trying to rebuild their relationship, which I actually kind of like it. I actually thought it was so cute just kind of seeing these like kind of frenemies just kind of trying to be back friends. And I just felt like it takes a lot of growing. We saw Sheree, she has grown on the show. We also saw Kenya, character growing as well, character building as well. So I do see them becoming better friends. So then the last storyline is Candy, which I actually don't know Candy's storyline this season. I think that maybe she's just a floater, someone who's just giving advice. We didn't really see much of her individual storyline. We only saw her being interacting with the other ladies. Okay. So the final scene, and I just wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about this, is Marlo's event, her first showcase of her own like fashion collection called La Archives, right? So it's called La Archives, and she sends an invitation that's just over the top message to the ladies, inviting them to her official opening of her fashion collection. So she sent in the ladies, and a lot of the ladies thought it was cute, but Kenya had to give her a little, constructive criticism and saying that it was, subpar. Let's just put it like that. It was subpar. So the ladies are all invited, and a lot of the ladies are confused on what La Archive is actually all about. So La Archives is Marlo's personal collection of clothes that she has collected over the last 20 years. And these are unique pieces that people can actually rent out for like a day or two, and they're paying a certain amount of dollars, let's say $5,000, maybe a day to rent it out. And that is how she's making money for on her showroom, right? So it's a showroom, and she has like unique pieces like Jennifer Lopez's 2000 Grammy dress. You guys know the green one that's like really really nice. It's a classic. So she also has that. She has like just different looks as well too that people can actually rent out. And people, some of the ladies were, kind of like whispering like, is this already worn clothes? Like, how does it work? And I one of the things I noted is that I felt like Marlo didn't really do such a good job really explaining what the showroom is all about and how it works, right? So, like I said, the showroom works by her renting out clothes. It's pretty much, how people rent out tuxedos and people rent out prom dresses. That's how her showroom works. And, some of the ladies were kind of, going back and forth, about the showroom. And Marlo just didn't like that. She felt like, why are these ladies? These ladies are my friends. Why are they kind of whispering and kind of gossiping about me on my first event? And she was really directing all of her anger towards Kenya more, right? She felt that Kenya, every time she has an event, Kenya's always criticizing her, and she just didn't like it. And I really felt like her feelings were a little hurt because these are her friends, right? And they're supposed to be really supporting her. But I felt like Marlo was kind of misdirecting her. She's so fixated on what Kenya said. But all of the ladies had something to say. Candy had something to say. Sonia has something to say. Sheree has something to say. Drew has something to say. All of the ladies had something to say. But she was super, super fixated on what Kenya had to say, maybe because um what they had in the past, the disagreement that they had in the past. But I felt like each of the ladies should have gotten the same wrath that she gave to Kenya. They all should have gotten the same wrath. But Marla was overall, she was pretty upset with the ladies, and she said, of course, the ladies won't understand because what she is selling, what she's bringing is authentic fashion, and they don't have a fact like if you go to Paris and you don't get a runway, the people are not going to be walking the runway and stuff. You just get a showroom where your people are bidding, so it's more like a little bit upper echelon. So that's what she's trying to say. These ladies, they don't know about the high class value of what the archive was all about. Okay, so another thing people also fixated on was the spelling of La Archive. So, she spelled it with an L-E, while it should have been an L apostrophe, right? So I don't know why Marlo did spell it with an L-E. I'm pretty sure she knows. Maybe she just wanted to spell it with an L-E to make it a little bit more unique, right? So, um, that is all I noted for this episode. I have to say it was really good. I'm excited about tonight's episode. Super excited about that. We're just going to see how it goes for tonight. But that is my thoughts for season 14, episode 1. What are your thoughts so far? And I'm just gonna go ahead and let's interact. For this episode recap. All right. So hey, Sincere. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Sincere also he left quite a few comments. He said Marlo always deserves a peach because since Nene been gone, the show got boring. Oh, I felt Marlo really deserved a peach as well. I felt that it's just been long overdue. I love how she celebrated her peach. I love her tagline. I don't know. I really want to know what took so long for Marlo to get a peach. Like, why? Why did it take 7 years? They bring on so many new ladies and they always leave Marlo. Um, they always leave Marlo out, right? I really felt like I don't know what Why did it take so long to for Marlo to get a peach? And if you know that answer, just go ahead and just type it because I really would like to know why it took so long. Sure. Sincere also said Sheree's corny. Why bring her back? Boring story. Really, I felt like Sheree had a pretty good storyline. I I think it's interesting. You know, a lot of people want the OGs back and they want that kind of old Real Housewives vibe back. And I felt like this episode was kind of giving it. So I was really, really satisfied with this episode. If you guys have any other comments, any input, if you had to rate the season, so episode one, what would you give it? And also, I really would like to know why it took so long for Marlo to get a peach. That's my question for this episode. Why it took so long? Because she's a great addition. Her storyline is beautiful. 2 years of raising her nephews. I love that for her. So, yeah, and also if you are watching the replay, make sure you like this video. Also, make sure you comment as well and let us know what your thoughts are on this episode. Thank you all so much. Thank you for those who were able to join on this live, on this quick recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14, episode 1. And we have a new episode tonight. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you all so much. Peace, love, and blessings.